सभी को आज की वार्ता में बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सभी का और सभी का अभिनंदन। आज हम बहुत ही अहम विषय पे और बहुत ही एक ऐसे शख्स के बारे में बातचीत
इस,
करने जा रहे हैं जिसने बहुत लोगों
इसका
की ज़िंदगी को
अरुण
छुआ है।
अरुण इसका परिचय मैं दूंगा।
जी जी
नहीं
आप।
तो
जी
डुप्लीकेट
जी।
हो जाएगा। हाँ,
और मैं थोड़ा
आप
सॉफ्टवेयर के बारे में आपको बताने वाला हूँ कि जो सॉफ्टवेयर हम
अरुण
यूज़ कर रहे हैं।
डॉक्टर अरुण बांसल एक जाने माने एनवायरमेंटलिस्ट हैं और आईटी एक्सपर्ट हैं। हमारी पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी में ये बहुत बड़ा काम कर रहे हैं और इनका जो फेसबुक का सोशल सब्सटेंस का जो ये ग्रुप है, ये एक चलती फिरती यूनिवर्सिटी है। और बिना इनकी मदद के मुझे मैं आईटी में जीरो हूँ। मैं कोई भी टॉक नहीं दे पाता। मेरा यूट्यूब चैनल और ये यही है हमारा फोरम जिस पे हम बातचीत करते हैं। और हमारी इच्छा थी कि हम श्रीकांतिया साहब की लाइव इंटरव्यू लें। एक लड़की है विदिशा, कर्नाटका में, उसने कॉल भी किया श्रीकांतिया साहब को, पर उनको शायद सुनाई नहीं दिया डायल टोन, और उसकी मुलाकात हो ना पाई। तो हाँ अरुण, प्लीज बोलो।
जी सर, धन्यवाद आपका बहुत बहुत। और जो ये सॉफ्टवेयर हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं गूगल मीट, जिसके ऊपर आज ये मीटिंग है, इसके कुछ फीचर आपसे मैं ज़िक्र करना चाह रहा था। अगर कोई बातचीत के दौरान अपनी ऑब्जर्वेशन कहना चाहे, कोई संस्मरण कहना चाहे, कोई अपना कोई रिसर्च पेपर उसमें लिखना चाहे, उनके बारे में कुछ कहना चाहें, तो चैट बॉक्स का इस्तेमाल आप कर सकते हैं। तो वार्ता के ख़त्म होने पर हम लोग इंटरेक्टिव सेशन भी करेंगे, आप लोग आपस में बातचीत भी कर सकते हैं। तो चैट बॉक्स का इस्तेमाल आप कर सकते हैं। अगर किसी को पूरी इस दौरान किसी का कनेक्शन डिस्कनेक्ट हो जाता है या किसी को लिंक्स का कोई दिक्कत आता है, तो मैं चैट बॉक्स में एक नंबर छोड़ रहा हूँ। तो उस नंबर पे आप सीधा कनेक्ट करके आप वो टेक्निकल इशू भी रिजॉल्व करवा सकते हैं। तो इसी के साथ सर मैं आपको इनवाइट करता हूँ, प्लीज़ आप वार्ता शुरू करिए।
नमस्कार आप सभी को। और एक बार मैं पुनः आग्रह करूंगा कि आप प्लीज जिन मित्रों को ऐसा लग रहा हो कि टाइम पे शुरू नहीं होगी, अगर आप उनको किसी को इन्फॉर्म करना चाहिए कि मीटिंग इज ऑलरेडी ऑन, यू मे सेंड ए मैसेज अक्रॉस। बट जो इसको मिस भी करेंगे वो एक्चुअली इसको मिस नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि फेसबुक लाइव पे ये हमेशा हमेशा के लिए ये पूरी डिस्कशन वीडियो के रूप में जिंदा रहेगी। ये सोशल सब्सटेंस का जो ग्रुप है, अरुण डॉक्टर अरुण बंसल का। और ये डॉक्टर अरुण बंसल ही मेरे को हेल्प करेंगे इन अपलोडिंग इट ऑन माय यूट्यूब चैनल अर्थ टॉक। आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि अपने म्यूट रख, ये आवाज अगर आती रहेगी तो हम बात नहीं कर पाएंगे। अरुण जरा एक्सप्लेन करो सबको कि म्यूट रखें। एवरीबडी शुड बी म्यूट। या एक तस्वीर इसमें ये जो लगी है, ये 2009 में, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहता है कि तस्वीर किस साल में खींची गई है, क्योंकि ये श्रीकांतिया साहब ने 62 में भी कहा है कि ये ग्लेशियर रिसीड कर रहा है। और 2009 के बाद में आज की स्थिति क्या है, मैं नहीं जानता, क्योंकि उसके बाद मैं वहां नहीं गया हूँ। और मैं भी इस एरिया में तकरीबन उसी उम्र में गया था जिस उम्र में श्रीकांतिया साहब इसमें गए होंगे। तकरीबन शायद 27-28 साल का मैं रहा हूँगा जब मैं, मेरे एक सीनियर थे सुदर्शन सिंह कंवर जी, जो डिप्टी डायरेक्टर जनरल रिटायर हुए जियोलॉजिकल सर्वे से, उनके साथ मेरे पहले 3 एक्सपीडिशंस थे। तो ये वाला एरिया ये बहुत मशहूर है फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर से एंटीमनी मिनरलाइजेशन के लिए। यहाँ पे और भी एसोसिएटेड मिनरल्स हैं। तो एंटीमनी स्टिबनाइट उस मिनरल को कहते हैं। ये एक स्ट्रेटेजिक मेटल है जो डिफेंस में बहुत इस्तेमाल होती है। तो फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर से ये माइन होती थी ब्रिटिश टाइम्स में भी। और ये एक ऐसा सब्सटेंस है जिसको माइनिंग करने में अगर ज़्यादा पैसा भी लग जाए, तो क्योंकि इसकी स्ट्रेटेजिक वैल्यू है, तो इसको माइन करना ही बढ़िया रहता है। तो हर स्लाइड में हमारा ये टॉक मैंने कोशिश किया है कि इस तरह से बनाऊं, और इसमें वो पूरी जो सब्सटेंस है पूरी हैपनिंग का, जो एहसास, जो फीलिंग श्रीकंतिया साहब की थी और उनकी पार्टी की थी, जो उन्होंने उसमें लिखी और जो थोड़ी बहुत मैंने पंछीराम से सुनी और डॉक्टर मनोहर सिंह गिल की उस किताब में ब्यूटी इन विल्डरनेस जो मैंने पढ़ी, उसका निचोड़ है। श्रीकांतिया साहब की तस्वीर हर स्लाइड में तकरीबन लगी है, क्योंकि मैं ये जो कह रहा हूँ, ये श्रीकांतिया साहब की वाणी ही जो उन्होंने मुझे 10 साल पहले 50th एनिवर्सरी ऑफ द इवेंट पे ईमेल से भेजी थी। वो बाय चांस जब वो बीमार थे उस 2 दिन पहले ही मेरी नज़र में इन माय फेसबुक अमंग द मेमोरीज इट क्रॉप्ड अप। Then I went back to my email which I had received from Srikantia साहब, जो मैंने सैकड़ों लोगों के साथ, स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, मेरे 3000 के ऊपर फेसबुक फ्रेंड्स हैं, शेयर की थी और उन सब ने मुझे ये कहा था कि एक इतनी बड़ी घटना और इतना रोमांचक, इट्स सो रोमांटिक एंड सो नेचुरल एंड सो इमोशनल एंड पैशनेट, ये जो उन्होंने लिखी है और आपने हमारे साथ शेयर करी, और सभी चाहते थे कि कोई मौका आए, श्रीकांतिया साहब चंडीगढ़ आए तो ये बातचीत की जाए। इनफैक्ट श्रीकांतिया साहब 94 में पार्वती भाभी के साथ में आए थे हमारे घर पे अपनी रिटायरमेंट से पहले, वो तस्वीर मैं दिखाऊंगा। उस दिन भी बच्चों ने स्लाइड शो किया था हमारे घर पे, जो हम एक्सपीडिशन करके आए थे एमएससी के टूर का। इस तरह के टूर्स नॉर्मली टीचर्स नहीं करते। अगर मैंने हिम्मत की वो करने की, तो उसके पीछे प्रेरणा हमेशा किसी ऐसे इंसान की रही है। और उद्यम हम 3 अक्टूबर को गए थे। हमारा जाने का कारण था कि प्लेग था इंडिया में एंड इट वाज नॉट सेफ टू गो टू एनी अदर एरिया फॉर ए फील्ड टूर। सो वी वेंट ऑन 3rd अक्टूबर एंड केम बैक ऑन 20th। इनफैक्ट जाने से पहले भी हमें ये वार्न किया गया कि भूल न जाना, सितंबर का आखिर बहुत खतरनाक होता है। श्रीकांतिया साहब ने कितना मुसीबत झेली थी और हम लोग भी उससे भी पहले कुछ झेल चुके थे। तो हम बच्चों को ये बता के लेके गए थे कि देखो, ऐसा हो सकता है, एक फ्रीक वेदर हो सकता है जो हमें झेलना पड़ सकता है। सो ये कोई एक ऑर्डिनरी लेक्चर नहीं है, ये एक सलाम है मेरा श्रीकांतिया साहब को और उनकी उस भावना को और उनकी उस पर्सनालिटी को। और श्रीकांतिया साहब इस बातचीत के जरिए और हमारे दिल में आज भी जिंदा हैं, हमेशा जिंदा रहेंगे। ये है सारांश। दिस इज द क्रक्स ऑफ द टॉक। आई विल ट्राई टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश, but बीच में I'm in the habit of switching to multilingual mode. Those friends who are not very good at understanding Hindi, kindly do point out to me. In case there are many more people who don't understand any Hindi, I'll not speak any Hindi at all. So it's not a routine homage meet for a colleague who is no more, but sharing of his 60 years old narrative of an inspiring goose pimples experience of a lifetime, a touching, rare, daring story of survival of team of the legendary S.V. Srikantia and the desperate do or die walk through snowstorm of over 4 days, over scores and scores of dead mules and horses and men and women on the way, crossing an icy river Chandra at 4 a.m. or so, sans clothes kept dry hanging in their necks, with numb swollen feet and legs after saving all maps of 3 months fieldwork in Barashigri Glacier, after hiding all the samples securely, but bringing along the precious theodolite. In all this achievement, after 3 days of starvation diet, without any water to drink and a wink of sleep, 4 days in anxiety without sleep, and almost no food, no water. Fourth night in open under heavy ongoing snowfall, resting on a big boulder and creating a barrier out of snow to prevent icy winds hitting them. This is the crux of that article which he had written in Karawa. We used to read this important magazine as kids, and later I'll read out these two paras in his own language. क्या गजब का expression है. The way he has narrated the story at that age shows that he was always good at expressing his observations and his all situations. It's a great narration. So I didn't know how to get a picture of that day. On 4th March this year, I was invited by Dr. Ghanshyam Tiwari to Geological Survey of India, Chandigarh. And there in the museum where the function was being held, I went around and I was amazed that I found this picture, obviously clicked by Sri Kantia Sahab, because I know he was very, very good at catching good photographs. So I clicked the picture with the phone I had. I don't have an iPhone. I had a very ordinary camera on my phone, perhaps OnePlus then. And then I somehow managed to edit it. And this this is written, I don't know, in somebody's handwriting, Camp of GSI Party at Bada Shigri after the snowstorm in the Lahore Valley. So this, since it's not readable, I put a caption, GSI Bada Shigri Camp after historic snowstorm, September 1962. Photo on display in Museum GSI Chandigarh. These are some places on the way from Rohtang. Now we have almost a 4-lane road everywhere. This is the halting place where lots of dhabas, hotels, and tea shops, and a police station, and people. And these are, say, lots of fun spots. We had gone in June. This is Professor Umakant Shukla of Banaras Hindu University. It was the Indo-US expedition in which we had taken these pictures. And these are some old pictures we had taken. I think it was 2004 or 5, where I'd gone in a IGCP expedition with the Europeans. I'd gone to assist Dr. Bhargav in Manali, and he told me in Manali, without any notice, that come along, you come over to Kaza, because I had 2 projectors from loaned, which I was supposed to take back in somebody's vehicle to Chandigarh. And it didn't work out. So he said, let's not give it to anybody who may not handle them well. We keep it, and you come along. So I spent another 10 days there. These pictures were taken during that period of this entire Bada Shigri Naisik complex. There is a possibility of a huge mineral wealth. S.V. Srikantia in 62 was a proud youngster who started his career that first field season in the higher Himalayas in the other side of Great Himalayan Range, doing plane table mapping, trying to explore the mineral wealth. He's written this in the email, which I'll be reading out later, for the country. So these are huge features always. Bada means big, large. So this Bada Shigri is, of course, Shigri mentions, these are sides. The main glacier is in the valley. A glacier is a river of ice. So these are the debris on the side moraines and terminal moraines and whatnot. I will not go into the technical jargon, but just I want to give you a feel of the huge glacier, which in the tip area, their focus was not the glacier, but the granites and gneisses with the antimony mineralization and associated other minerals. So they had spent 3 long months, and they were those days the jeep was not going even up to the road opposite, and they had taken mules from Hoshiarpur. We normally take mules from Manali or Jispa these days, even 40 years back, but they had got the mules from Hoshiarpur. Those guys were very moody and very unpredictable and troublesome. And they had walked all the way from Rani Nala, this side of Rotang, and to Koksar, and then to Chatru, and to Chodadara, and to Batal. I'll give you an idea about this valley, which is a very, very risky valley, and where if you're caught, God save you. It has always been the history. In this valley, geologists who are experts, they show us huge boulders which could not have come here but for massive flash floods in the recent geological past. So, in fact, even this heavy snowfall, if there were suddenly a bright sun after 4 days of heavy snowfall, there would be flash floods. So, it's normal course. So I'll just show you the glimpse of this valley. Again, that Bada Shigri Glacier, and this is most probably the site where he was, just behind it. This is the place he was. And this was quite a distance from the Chandra River. It's here is the Chandra River. It looks near, and because there's no pollution, it looks even more near. But in high altitudes of Lahaul Spiti, what looks very near, sometimes it takes your day to reach there. So this is the other side of these huge boulders. They're from a distance, they look small, but they're very big. And this is the that entire area of Bada Shigri, Chotadara, and that's the valley. This is entire thing is a very, very dangerous area. In fact, normally geologists who know the area, they try to rush from Koksar across to Kunjam, because if you're stuck, you're stuck. You could be stuck for a long time. So this is the article from where I got the crux of the whole, and I got this edited and improved by my son. He's these days in Toronto. He's a Nokia techie. And Manish, he has met Srikantya Saab in 94. He was a class 8 or 9 boy when he had come to our place. So now it's readable. And I'll not read this entire article, but this article will be available on my YouTube and on the Facebook Live Social Substance for all to see forever. And you are able to, in fact, I've shared today morning a PDF file of this presentation that also is on major groups, and I've sent it to Madam Parvati Srikantya also, and all our geoheritage groups and Geological Society of India group and GSI group, they have that presentation. You can always zoom it and read this. I would recommend that in a short time, I would not try to read this, but I have only 2 paras in the end. I guess this is the youthful S.V. Srikantya, maybe 27 years old or 28 those days. Mrs. Srikantya obviously came later in his life. His first love was this glacier. This was the situation standing in a very heavy snowfall. If you stand without sunglasses, you will be snow blinded and not able to see much. And this started happening to them. He's called it icy hell. Barfila Narak. That's a very right description of the circumstances. Then I would first jump to the email, because that's a shorter one. It'll give you enough motivation to read this article. And You can read it whenever you like to, but I will read out the 2 paras which are marked on this paper, which I printed. And as I said, Panchiram of Jispa, now he's at Patlikul. He should be also around 85 plus. He was the savior angel. Aisa Farishta, Aisa, such a loyalty personified, humility personified. He came to know about the crisis. He had gone to fetch mules from Manali, and mules were not available. He bought some bread, and he writes, he also bought some cigarettes. He's not declared who was the smoker in that party. Normally, we prohibit anybody in a high altitude party from smoking. And he has not written lots of things he couldn't have written in an article as a government officer. Panchiram told me that he had also brought the local country liquor, local very pure liquor, which is the local brandy, because there could be people who may need to be revived with a few spoons of brandy. And Panchiram had gone after retirement with us to Pin Valley, and there he would sit down. He never said Sri Kantya. He would say, Kantya Saab, Satai ji, Kantya Saab ne wo पार किया और वो जब पार कर लिया तो वो सब नाचने लगे जी और वो the gesticulation, the body language of Panchiram has to be seen and heard. So some other day we'll come to this this great savior. And here, before I go further, without the cool-headed, balanced, visionary approach of S.V. Srikantya, 3 days, 4 days without anything to drink, and one meal, uneatable rice with salt, because they were packing off, their rations were over, mitti ka tel was over, and they expected Panchiram to bring the mules on 18th or so, and was off. But it didn't happen. Before that, 19th, the snowfall started coming. 20th, it was hell. 21st, they say that sunlight came, they were happy that it's over. And next day, it started again. And in 1 hour, they decided, no, we have to go. And they put in all the samples, etc., securely. And even they packed up the map, which was their bread and butter. If the map was destroyed, nobody in the government echelons would understand that map can be destroyed, that human lives were more important. Those babus who sit in the offices don't understand what a geologist faces. They never understand, because this country is geologically illiterate. Now, it was always illiterate, even then. I'll not dabble much in that. Focus is S.V. Srikantya and Badashigri. So here it is, September 18, 2012. Exactly 10 years back, I had got this mail from Srikantya Saab. And he wrote, Golden Jubilee of Lahaul Valley Snowstorm Natural Disaster. In fact, this was my spirit that nothing much happened then. Now this social media lets you communicate, lets you share. So why not? We celebrate the Diamond Jubilee. Since last year, I'd been trying. In fact, I even planned that I will take a flight to Bangalore. I have some relations there, and then visit. But that COVID deterred me, and I felt that with elderly people, elderly couple, it will be not safe to visit them. We were also not taking any visitors, going nowhere. So I thought a Google chat may serve the purpose, but whatever. When I got this email, I thought, oh, when I have something written by him at leisure, this is as good. So I'll just read it out because this will be the main crux of the interaction. 50 years ago, to be precise, on 19 September 1962, a team of young geologists and surveyor of the Geological Survey of India, who had been deputed to investigate the economic potentiality of antimony deposit near the Barashigri Glacier escarpment, were caught in a vicious snowstorm, totally unexpected during that part of the year. Normally, October and November beginning is the time when snow comes. But after this event, every GSI party was always wary about. I had done 5 expeditions, three with SS Kanwar, one with Dr. Sabyasachi Dasgupta, and one with Dr. K.C. Prasha. We used to always say, watch out. If snow comes, watch out. And in fact, when there would be clouds, we would always talk about S.V. Srikantya. For all of us, it was the first experience of a geological expedition to the Great Himalayan Range. And it was organized by the Punjab Himachal Pradesh Circle of the Geological Survey of India with its headquarters at Shimla. We were poorly equipped with old single-fly tents, used boots, provided one sleeping bag, and there was hardly anything which I would call a high-altitude equipment. He used to be quite frank and quite expressive. We were given an old rickety jeep to haul, एक छकड़ा jeep मिली थी उनको, to haul us up to Manali in the first leg and to Koti, Rani Nala in the next. Our story is published in an article written by me in the magazine Karama. The team comprised myself, Rabindranath Padhi, and S.K. Biswas, Singh, our technical assistant, and Baburam, our cook, completed the party. We had engaged muleteers hailing from Hoshiarpur, not the best, but the only available group of muleteers. We had engaged 4 Tibetan porters. Panchiram, a local person of Lahaul, was deputed by the Lahaul Tehsil to help us in communication. वो डाक वाक लेने जाता था, केयर ऑफ पोस्टमास्टर डाक आती थी, वो चिट्ठी लेने जाना आना, that was the routine. The lack of equipment, difficulties of the terrain, and lack of facilities did not deter us. Personally, I loved mountains, and Manali with its greenery fascinated me. Barashigri, though dull and drab, excited me. I still hear the rumbling sound of Barashigri glacial stream. It was like a rock music. The climb to the working area was tough, but was enjoyable as we climbed higher and higher. More and more snow peaks appear in the field of our visibility. I liked the ruggedness of the mountains, and I had become part of it. Returning from work to our base used to be breezy as we used a glide along the scree slope. We would relish the food Baburam would serve. Nights were breezy with winds lashing our tents. Sometimes I used to yearn for greenery. The transistor was our source of news and music. I'm not repeating our story, Ordeal in the Snowstorm, which I'm attaching. I've also attached here. I'm also not reading out for you. It's your job to read it. I'll just read out those 2 paras which will shake the hell out of you. This experience exposed many aspects of human behavior when they are faced with natural disaster. In the Lahaul Valley, the slogan was each for himself. There were deaths due to exposure to cold. Many people died due to avalanche. No counts were maintained. Mules were without grass. These beasts ate hairs of tails of other mules for survival. On seeing the first snowfall, one doctor in one of the PWD camps ran away, it seems. It was primarily to airlift the GSI party, which was placed in the most difficult situation, that a wireless message was sent to Punjab government to send a helicopter, and this broke the news of the disaster to the world. We ran short of food, but as a GSI team, we are proud that we came out intact, brought our valuable maps, cash, voucher, and even a theodolite. ये थियोडोलाइट आप लोग उन्हें कभी एक बॉलीवुड की मूवी में देखा होगा. धर्मेंद्र को रोल मिला है कोई जियोलॉजिस्ट का, पिक्चर थी सत्यकाम. तो उसको कहा गया कि मैप बनाओ, तो उसने बोला कि साहब थियोडोलाइट अरेंज करिए, फिर बनाता हूं. तो वो जो सेठ था वो समझा ये लाइट मांग रहा है. ही सेड लाइट गई भाड़ में, तू मैप बना. सो थियोडोलाइट इज एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट फॉर मेकिंग मैप्स. सो सत्यकाम भी जरूर देखिएगा, आपको कुछ आइडिया हो जाएगा थियोडोलाइट क्या होती है. We moved together. Panchiram, the Tehsil peon, guided us at the last hurdle of crossing the Chandra River. National newspapers, without exception, were appreciative of our efforts. I wish I can make a collage of newspapers' headlines where so much of appreciation is showered on geologists. By the way, I met Manohar Singh Gill, who was the DC that time, later in 89, when SS Kanwar and I were at Koksar and just about to come out. Gill told me that he had described this entire scene in his book, Beauty in Wilderness. I would request you also kindly buy that book. Its second edition also has come. The first one had a preface from Indira Gandhi. And he told me about 1,450 mules and horses died in this snowstorm. About 250 men and women, largely those poor labor who were working on the roadside, died. And people were trampling over the dead because they were just not knowing पांव के नीचे क्या है. इन्होंने 4 का जिक्र किया है. He said 250 or so were dead. They tracked from the Times of India, October 8, 62. They tracked from the base camp at a height of more than 13,000 feet to Koksa is a remarkable feat of courage and endurance. Times of India, October 9. Geologists trek across glacial terrain, remarkable feat of endurance. Tribune, October 10. Shelterless nights and semi-starvation diet, geologist tells harrowing experience. Spiti Valley, the Indian Express, October 9. Benumbed geologist team in Manali, harrowing track to safety across glacial rivers, PTI News Service, October 10. Trapped geologists, grim battle against death, Lahore Valley ordeal. Hindu, September 28. A few members of the Geological Party, Survey Party of the Government of India are believed to be among the trapped men. It was also not known where exactly they had been trapped, and the government yesterday asked the army assistance from Delhi to locate the spot. No help reached. With courage and determination, we reached safety. Mr. Pratap Singh Karon, the chief minister then, was very kind to us. He sent for us to Kulu, and he particularly asked me to address the bureaucrats assembled there for Punjab Tribal Advisory Council meeting about our experience. And when I presented the mapping we had carried out in Barashigri, he was greatly touched. He made us take guess. He really made us feel like heroes. Later in the press conference, it was reported the chief minister paid a tribute to the Geological Survey of India team and also to the film division party. These were among the trapped persons. He said Geological Survey team lost most of their belongings, but did not lose the valuable maps they'd drawn of the mineral resources. The way the members of the team cooperated with each other was exemplary. They were without food for 3 days and without Although very thirsty, they could not move to get water from the river, which was only a furlong away. The example of these two parties, the Chief Minister said, would encourage the brave sons of Punjab to defy cruel nature and go ahead with the development work. Nature, he said, was powerful, but men were all set to control it. Our colleagues, without exception, were all anxious and awaiting our return. My friend and colleague H.N. Singh went and met the GOC Western Command to seek help to rescue the GSI team. D.R.S. Mehta, my superintendent geologist, thought I got too much publicity. In my opinion, it was GSI which was the gainer. When I returned to Shimla after recovering all the luggage we had left behind, I was greatly touched by the kindness and concern of our colleagues and friends. Finally, some of our senior colleagues went to the Steel and Mines Ministry to request to issue a letter of appreciation to team members, and the bureaucrat remarked, haha, why letter of appreciation? Because they ran away from the camp leaving the luggage. Our senior colleagues told him, Mr. So-and-so, it's only when you live with them in such a field, you would have understood the life of a geologist. Incidentally, every bit of our luggage was retrieved from Bada Shigri after the snowfall ceased. It is a tragedy of a bureaucrat's life and triumph of a geologist. I continued for another 20 years in Himalayas after Bada Shigri experience and more than 10 years in high altitude. I'm a proud geologist. Thank you all for the patience in going through this long narration. Normally, this big email and narration is just looked at, glanced through, not read. I thought, if we cannot sit together and read this great piece of literature, this great piece of emotional expression, what's our worth as geologists, as humans, and as friends of S.V. Srikantia? Pity is this, that a large number of people have not read this. They have not read the article in Caravan. This should have gone into the archives of the Government of India, the ministry, and it should have gone into the archives of all geologists. I thought, be it as it may, 60th anniversary of this episode. In these times of fast communication, social media, YouTube, etc., and in my retirement age 72 plus, about to be 73, as a fan and follower of S.V. Srikantia, as an admirer of S.V. Srikantia, in fact, as an admirer of the couple, perhaps I could make a small beginning. And that was the idea. When I conceived it, I was hoping that he would be soon well and he would participate in it. But I say this, men like S.V. Srikantia don't go, they remain. They are here forever. And I request you all to think, when we have so much of good cinema coming, good science cinema coming, good thrilling cinema coming, is it too much to ask for that, especially these days, South Indian cinema is much more adventurous and sensible than the Bollywood. So I request you, please don't take it as a off-the-cuff suggestion. This is the main aim of my talk, of this interaction, that let us talk to some creative cinema people, ask them not for a routine, boring documentary, but let's have, if we can have that picture on the space scientist, we could as well have one on S.V. Srikantia. Let this narration be the nucleus for a script. Let the idea go around. There is one council, Science Communication Council of Department of Science and Technology in Noida. We have the Ministry of Earth Sciences, but unfortunately, they're very boring. They're very non-creative. So let's look around, wherever, in India or outside, where we have a chance of creating something for posterity, thrilling the youngsters, and telling them about times and life of one S.V. Srikantia and number of others unsung heroes of sciences, geosciences. Especially in India, a person heading for geology lands up in zoology. If people would ask, Gyanni wali is jail wali, that's it. What a shameful ignorance of geosciences, and a country which ignores geosciences is doomed to be a downtrodden and a poor and a wretched country. Because if you can't manage your disasters, if you can't manage your resources, if you can't manage the thrills of your sciences, you can't manage the country. So this is the lesson. In fact, when I talked to Srikantia Sahab, twice I talked in these last few months, and in July or August, I don't remember the exact date when I called him. We had a 45-minute chat. And from Chandigarh, also when I called him, his voice was much better then. And I asked him, कि साहब आवाज तो तगड़ी है आपकी. He said, नहीं, वो तुमसे बात करके मुझे इतना खुशी हुई कि मेरी आवाज में दम आ गया है. So I wish I had recorded that, but doesn't matter. There would be somebody who would speak for him, and there would be somebody who would give a face to this adorable couple. These kids, these are my 94 batch kids who had gone for 3 weeks tour. This is Yuka Bassi, Professor Bhatia, late Dr. Loyal, his wife Maninder Kaur, an advocate. That's my daughter, who was a teenager, late teens. She was in BA1, I think, and that's my wife. She had made a cake which Parvati Bhavi and Srikantia Sahab. This was their retirement cake. They cut it together. We didn't have picture because it was quite late. And that's Professor Ashok Sani and Mrs. Sani, Dr. K.C. Prasha. And these are all those students who had gone. So for these, some of them are, they were supposed to attend today, or they would be surely watching the YouTube and the Facebook Live and be a part of this interaction. This interaction is not just happening now. This will be on and on, because Facebook Live is always live, and YouTube doesn't die, it lives on. So Earth Talks, it will be always there. And look at the significance, look at Rochester University and Punjab University had a joint expedition in June 2009. Dr. Ashish Basu said that it's a part of the Indo-US Science and Technology Foundation mandate that some eminent scientists from the country should be coming here for a workshop. And first name in the list he had already prepared was S.V. Srikantia. S.V. Srikantia was one person who was not dependent on the position he held, who was not dependent on the awards he won, or the fellowships of any academy. He was one person who he was because he was S.V. Srikantia. Never ever anybody saw him being angry with the youngsters. Always smiling. Even here you can see the smile, which is permanent on his face. And S.V. Srikantia, this was in my room, in my chairman's room, the department. And next day we had half a day workshop where he spoke. And this is the loss on which we talked 2 times. I called him the lost archives. This is in the Down to Earth magazine. This is a deaf and dumb country towards geosciences. It's a shameful situation, about which talking is a must. If we don't the remedy, the greatest pain which he had, which we all have, is the loss of precious outcrop studied whole life and destabilized in road construction by quacks without involving geologists, or sealed in concrete graves. Beauty and science both butchered. This is happening. Himalayas is being killed through this sort of so-called development. Development must be science-based, science-guided, and coexistence with science. That's what Srikanta Saab told me. He said, nobody will listen to me, but you seem to have the voice and also the pen. I told him, nobody listens to me either. And he said, but don't give up hope. If not you, there will be some of your students. There will be some others. But surely, Himalayas is the biggest heritage mankind has. Himalayas does not belong just to the 10 or 11 countries which share the Himalayan ecology. Himalaya belongs to humanity. Let's be human. Let's be scientific and let's keep Himalayas green, not make it gray. This is the current dismal scenario of the Himalayas. Concrete slurry on the slopes. No longer. Millions and millions of trees are gone, no problem. Trees will grow again. But concrete will also go. But the current generation of geologists, when it goes to study those sections where Srikantia mapped, where Srikantia and R.P. Sharma mapped, where Om Narayan Bhargav mapped, where V.P. Sharma mapped, where Professor S.B. Bhatia worked, where Professor Ashok Sani worked, they find concrete. One boy called Harsh, a research scholar at perhaps Kurukshetra, is a part of the Himalayan Geoconservation. He said he went for a traverse, he didn't have a place to take a deeper strike. That's the position. I'll just go back to, now if such great outcrops are to be put in a grave of concrete, this will be the biggest injustice to the spirit of S.V. Srikantia. Best tribute to S.V. Srikantia is save Himalayas. It's never too late not to mess up. And it's high time to respect scientific opinion. Let me go back to the article. These are the lines, the key operative lines. Despite a Herculean effort, it remained a distant object. With approaching night, darkness was spreading. We made Panchiram understand that we would not be able to reach the river bank that night. Panchiram was the loyal one who came back without mules, but he came to assist them across the river. It is very difficult to shout and convey across the river, but all of them, he was whistling to them. They could not identify kaun hai, but they could make out ki Panchiram hai, because that was his reputation, to stand by the person with whom he walked. We shouted, we'll be there next morning. We next stopped near a huge boulder and prepared, I don't know how to speak this by Voyak in the snow. We had meager protection from icy wind. By midnight, there was again dark clouds and all around, and it started snowing heavily. Fourth day, no food, no water, and heavy snow, heavier than before. They could have been frozen to death. In fact, Manoj Singh Gill told me that he faintly remembered that the 8 o'clock news had somehow announced that the JSI party is lost. They didn't say dead, but they said it's lost. It was a terrible night. We took every precaution to protect ourselves, protect the maps from getting wet. Just to humor people and not to let them get into depression, Srikantia writes, I asked Biswas, the surveyor, if he had any clandestine love affairs. He shook his hand with a big laugh. His purpose was to cheer him up. Our hands were busy reviving our numbed feet. Though there was all snow all around, we had not a drop of water to quench our thirst. We ate snow, but it did not help. We never lost courage. We tied one end of the rope. Porters crossed the river first. They were supposed to come back and help them cross, take the things. Porters refused to come back. Mules didn't come. Food was gone. There was no water to drink. And there was no, you can imagine all the anxiety, death looming large before you. We tied one end of the rope to a boulder, the other end being held by Panchi Ram on the other side. Removing our clothes, because if they got wet, then they would die of exposure. We removed our clothes, we tied all our things in our necks. वो देवानंद स्टाइल में जैसे वो पुलोवर डालते हैं ना, देवानंद पहले गले में डाल लेते थे, तो our necks, and waded through chest deep, ice cold, fast moving Chandra, locked arm in arm. सबने एक दूसरे को जकड़ रखा था, so that if 5 of them are together, the chance of them being swept was lesser, but still they could be swept. Chandra River normally is impossible to walk through. Panchiram identified a place where it was spread out, but even the spread out river for persons, Srikantia Sahib was not a very tall person. Even Pandhi Sahib, I not met him, but I understand, not a very tall person. He, because of the massive snowfall and the cool, the water level was very low. Panchiram, they had earlier gone through Batal, much upstream, but they managed to cross a little below, where I don't know exactly. It was indeed a great experience. In the middle of the river, our cook became jittery and cried, "Leave me in the water. I want to be drowned." He had to be carried. But once across the river, the peak of our ordeal was over. Standing on the safe ground of the Chandra bank, we felt an emotional outburst, giving vent to the tensions of the past 5 days. The ordeal was over. I sputtered. "Yes, Sahib." Panchiram joined me with smiles and tears on his face. He had brought bread and cigarettes. Panchiram sat down in Parayo Valley and narrated me this entire incident with great passion and nostalgia. He said that local brandy which he had brought for emergency, he gave to Pandhi Sahib, Srikantia Sahib, and each one of them to warm them up. And it looks Srikantia Sahib पेट खाली था. It got heady, and he got into a good mood, and he said, "Paddy, come on, oh, volleyball खेलते हैं." So that's the story of S.V. Srikantia and the episode of that great memory of the greatest ever crisis geologists are known to have faced and come out in flying colors. Srikantiya and party would be an inspiration to all those who get into bigger crisis. I didn't want to touch my near brush with death at a bigger height, coming to Parangla, 5 kilometers on the glacier in a blizzard. We faced the same situation. Our kerosene was stolen by the porters. Rations were over. We had no way but to get out in the blizzard. And we lost our head. Instead of going toward the Parangla Pass, we started going the other way. We found mules and horses dead and being eaten by vultures. And I told Sudarshan Singh Kawa, "Sir, it looks I'm the next one." He said in typical Punjabi, "Chaddiyan kalan ch raho, tendiyan nahi gallan karde." And he somehow dragged me up to Parangla around 8:30. And that day, every moment, I was thinking of S.V. Srikantiya. I came alive from Parangla because of S.S. Kawa and S.V. Srikantiya. Namaskar. It was kind of you to patiently carry through this session. Now, Arun, shall I close this presentation if there be any chance for it? Yeah.
I'll say
I
hello to and I Ramesh. Ramesh,
Yeah.
hello, I am Madhav, remember? Dr. Madhav, marine geology.
अरे
We are in marine geology, remember?
अनिल बात करो
हाँ.
वो बाद में याद आ जाएगा.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah.
Sir, can you read the... जी जी.
And I remember Dr. S.V. Srikantiya very much, and he was extremely, I mean, his work is always read by us, and we were in Jolly Round Punjab University, and his work was Gita for us. So it is always remember, it will always be remembered by us.
अनिल अनिल कोई इंस्टेंस बताओ जब श्रीकांतिया साहब ने तुम्हें कुछ डांट लगाई हो तुम्हारी जियोलॉजी पे, कुछ ऐसा वाला बताओ ना. तुम कर रहे हो
Actually, मैं उनके साथ काम तो कभी नहीं किया.
But we as students
इसको हमेशा याद रखना पड़ेगा.
जब हम बीएससी में थे तब 3 जियोलॉजिस्ट जेएसआई से आया करते थे हमारे सेमिनार्स में. S.V. Srikantiya, O.M. Bhargava, and V.P. Sharma. And all those speakers were all scared of them. कोई सवाल पूछेगा, कोई कुछ डांटेगा, तो श्रीकांतिया साहब कभी डांटते नहीं थे. वो हल्का सा सवाल पूछते थे बड़े सॉफ्टली. लोग उस सवाल से बहुत डरते थे. वीपी शर्मा साहब थोड़ा सा डांटते थे. तो हमें इतना सा याद है. It used to excite us a lot. हमें समझ नहीं लगता था क्या हुआ है. स्टूडेंट थे सेकंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर के. बट that's how we grew. We never knew कि हम DSI ज्वाइन कर लेंगे और हम कभी इन लोगों के साथ खड़े होंगे, बैठेंगे, कुछ बातचीत करेंगे. तो बहुत देर तक DSI में शुरू में हम बहुत डरते थे उनसे बात करते हुए. बाद में मैंने एक बार श्रीकांतिया साहब को बताया कि मैं आपसे हमेशा बहुत डरता रहा हूँ. क्यों डरते हो? लेकिन आपको पुराना इंप्रेशन ये है कि आप बड़े भारी विद्वान हो. इधर नहीं, मैं इतना बड़ा विद्वान नहीं हूँ, थोड़ा फील वर्क किया है. So it was great. What I Arun, I think we can as well close the session because it's evening time in India.
That is fine, sir, but there are certain chat messages that you may like to read also, and there is one information also that I would like to share it with all.
Read out. Yeah.
So I would be reading certain messages here. Mr. Rohit has asked about the recording of the session. It is replied that we are recording the session and it would be available on the Facebook. Link is already shared on the Facebook. Social Substance group is there. On the YouTube, Earth Talks channel is there. So link would be shared in the various groups also. So you would be getting the information. And then Lakshmi Kumar ji has asked, what are average temperatures in this region? If you may like to answer, sir, what are the average temperatures in this region?
कितना है? जीरो के कितना नीचे जाएगा? ऑफकोर्स रसिक साहब वाला टेम्परेचर तो नहीं आएगा यहाँ पे, पर -10 तो चले ही जाता था। पर हम लोग चंडीगढ़ में साइकिल चलाते थे ना, तो हमें बड़ा ठंडा लगता था, तो हम सोचते थे स्पीति वाला चंडीगढ़ से कम ठंडा है। कभी कभी बहुत ठंडा होता तो मैं कंवर साहब को बोलता कि सर जी आज तो यहाँ चंडीगढ़ जैसी सर्दी हो गई है। ठीक है, ऐसा है तो वो चंडीगढ़ वाली सर्दी ऐसी याद हुई बचपन की। ये जो सर्दी है ना, ये उसकी बाप है, यहाँ वाली सर्दी जो है। तो इट कैन बी एनीवेयर -10, 15। नॉर्मल में बस चंडीगढ़ से वो ठंडा ही है और काफी ठंडा है, डिपेंड्स ऑन द हाइट। सबसे ज्यादा खराब है वहाँ पे द विंडी। सम एरियाज स्पेशली द खेड़गढ़ा एंड बड़ा शिकरी एंड बातल द विंडीएस्ट स्प्रेड। वहां अगर आपने तंबू लगा दिया तो आप समझ लो कि आपका तंबू फट जाएगा। और फिर हम तो भगवान के जैसे थोड़े से ब्राउन टाइप है ना, और रफीक साहब जैसे कि तो ज्यादा स्किन बर्न होगी क्योंकि कश्मीर वाले हैं। पर हम जब लौट के आते थे वहां से तो वी यूज्ड टू लुक सो टैंड एंड स्किन यूज्ड टू पील आउट एंड इट यूज्ड टू टेक अ मंथ or so to come back to our normal appearance. It's a very dry, it's a dry desert. It's a dry, cold desert. Not a blade of grass at places. And a geologist could be camping on a glacier. And a geologist could be thoroughly finding himself in a crevasse. And मैंने देखा था कई बार कंवर साहब काफी डेयरडेविल थे ना, मैंने कभी कभी देखा वो एकदम से कहीं घुस गए हैं। अगर क्या होगा अंदर जांदा पे दिया पता ही लग गया अंदर हो गया। तो घोड़े वाला बोला कि घोड़े के पीछे पीछे चलो। ऐसा फील्ड वर्क में घोड़े आगे पीछे घोड़ा, तो ट्रैवल्स है ना, कैंप शिफ्ट है, तो चलो घोड़े के पीछे चल लेंगे। तो घोड़े के पीछे चलना भी बड़ा खतरनाक है, लात मारेगा तो काफी डूब जाओगे। तो थिंग्स आर वेरी ट्रिकी इन एल्टीट्यूड।
जी,
बातल और बड़ा सिंगरी के बीच में एक ग्लेशियर पड़ता है, सुतली ढाका। तो सुतली ढाका में अभी एक परमानेंट स्टेशन बनाया है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ अर्थ साइंसेज ने, उसका नाम है हिमांश। तो नाउ इट हैज बिकम वेरी इजी टू कैंप इन बिटवीन बातल एंड बड़ा सिंगरी। 3-4 हट्स है वहाँ पे, और कोई भी आदमी जो बड़ा सिंगरी जाता है वो अब नेचुरली वहाँ पे कैंप करता है। और इट्स अ वेरी लॉजिस्टिकल कंप्लीटली चेंज नाउ। जो श्रीकांतिया साहब का टाइम था उन्होंने तो बहुत मुश्किल टाइम देखा है। नाउ इट इज वेरी इजी। आप बातल से आगे जाके एक रोपवे है, उससे आप इस तरफ आ सकते हैं, आप चंद्रताल जा सकते हैं, आप बड़ा सिंगरी जा सकते हैं। थिंग्स आर चेंज, बट यस हैट्स ऑफ टू श्रीकांतिया साहब। जिस टाइम पे उन्होंने काम किया है, वी कैन डेफिनेटली इमेजिन हाउ दे मस्ट हैव वर्कड। हैट्स ऑफ
जी। And आपका आप you also have given one comment in the chat box also. Please allow me to read that one also. Kudos to the pioneer work undertaken by the team of Srikantia sir about 60 years back when there was no infrastructure. Since 2018, Bara Shingri Glacier is being monitored by scientists of NCPOR Goa, who report that this glacier is retreating at a fast rate. This is what exactly we were talking about. A massive proglacial lake has been formed in front of Snout. This lake is being monitored for glacial lake outburst flow. So this is one of the target and one of the aims that we have been recently working on, that we should be contributing as much as we can to save the Himalayas, and whatever we can do for that one, maybe discussions, maybe putting up research, or maybe sensitizing the people about it, and making a loud voice, to sensitize and propagate the cause. So that is one part. And Shri Ramesh Nittur SVS, Great Man Unsung Hero. And then there is one initiative that I would like to share with all. You know what happens with the people who have the experience, and they are people from the I should not call the history, but they are people from the previous generation. They may have a lot of handwritten notes also. They may have a lot of books also with them. You know what happens with those books or the handwritten notes? Those are gone with the time. But there is an initiative, Punjab Digital Library, who is digitizing all the resources available around us related to the Punjab. And if we talk about the Punjab, this Himalaya and other things, those were falling in Punjab earlier also. So we can count that those documents can be computerized, can be digitized. So if you find that any document or any artifact which is available with anybody of old times, even the related to Punjab, so those things can be digitized. If old books are there, handwritten notes are there, letters are there, those can be digitized and those can be preserved eternally. Like sir was pointing out that it should have been filed somewhere. So one of the ways that to contact Punjab Digital Library directly, you can contact the Punjab Digital Library also. It is available on the Google. You can Google that one, or you can contact me also. I can get you connected with the Punjab Digital Library. It is situated in public. Head office in the public in the Chandigarh. And then Anil Mathurji has written that SV Srikantia is the name well entrenched in the heart of geologists who worked even for short term time in Himalaya. Yes, we can understand that one, sir. We reciprocate. A great patriot, SVS. Yes. Thank you, Professor Arun, for wonderful narration and proposing a film to be made on the valiant hero, Dr. Srikantia, who brought glory to entire Earth science community. Yes. This actually, these days it is possible. Short films are there. You can club the photographs, or you can make the even film based on the photographs you all have with you. So that can be done also. And 2 drops for my eyes in this national pool of tears, Dr. Prakash has written in the Naman in the loving memory of late Shri S.V. Srikant Saab. Then we have got thanks. Some more thanks are there. Some more gratitudes are there. Mr. Rohit has written once again, this was such a great tribute to celebrate my uncle Srikantia's spine. Let me not read this one. Let us hear from the Rohit itself, himself. So, Mr. Rohit, please, you can say it in your own voice.
Absolutely. I think this was a phenomenal capture of the life and works of my uncle Srikantia, as rightly articulated by Professor Arundeep Ahluwalia. It really brought us into that situation as though we were there ourselves. We felt like we were transported in time and we were in the Himalayas, all of us. So it was amazing. Thank you so much, Professor, for your narration. And to everybody who joined us today, on behalf of my aunt Parvati and everybody on our family, and father, Mr. Ramesh Sampige, and Parvati's brother, Mr. Parmeshwar, and our family. It was an amazing narrative. I think it truly captures the essence of who my uncle Srikantia was. So thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Now we are coming to the closing part. First of all, I would be saying goodbye to the live audience on the Facebook. And now the chance is that you can switch on your mic if you want to interact with Professor Ahluwalia.
Arun,
Sir.
Arun, the narrative was written by Srikantia Saab himself.
Absolutely. He brought it alive.
Yeah. In fact, मेरा प्लान तो ये था कि उन्हीं से बुलवाऊंगा और उसको रिकॉर्ड करूंगा with his face. But मैंने कोशिश की उसको आवाज देने की जो उन्होंने लिखा था. इसमें मेरा 0 क्रेडिट है. सारा का सारा क्रेडिट जो है श्रीकांत साहब का है. प्रेरणा भी जो ये एक्टिविटी हुई, ये प्रेरणा भी उन्हीं की है. उसके बिना नहीं होती. So anyway, I'm glad that it touched you. But I would again say this is not a casual off-the-cuff suggestion. Scientists are the real heroes.
Yes.
The white-collared sciences like physics, chemistry, space, biotechnology, etc., are a little overplayed. Geosciences, other natural sciences are the real sciences. It's time in a country like India, which claims to be getting a developed country, we give scientists their due and give every science its due. Otherwise, the country won't be a rich country. और जो ये suggestion है प्लीज किसी क्रिएटिव बंदे से बात जरूर करिए जो इस तरह के साइंटिस्ट को लोकेट करता रहे, एंड इन देयर लाइफ टाइम these things are documented, they're interviewed, and maybe it inspires youngsters this way. तो इसको आज की बात ऐसा ना हो कि ये बात यहीं पर खत्म हो जाए, ये यहाँ से शुरू हो, and it should go to a culmination where there are lots of such heroes are
जी
visible on the screen.
जी. So we have got couple of more participants who have raised their hand to speak about. First of all, I would like to invite Madam Alka Singh ji, please.
ये मैडम पे अलका सिंह नहीं है, मिस्टर रमेश सिंह है.
I got it. Your
Sorry,
ID was yes. Please.
I'm using her Gmail. So good morning and good evening. Anuwalya sahab, you did namaskar. You did a great job. Okay, and I'm the person who is not aware of Dr. Srikantia, but now I know about him, about his work, contributions. Okay, I would like to ask, whatever you read his contributions of August 1962 events. Did you publish this event? I would like to see if you can compare with the state of art today in that region, and whatever Dr. Rasikul Ravindran he said also. I would be very glad to see this in black and white. Okay, and this event, since this was a natural hazard, I would like to see if you can write 2-3 pages, and I can, with the figures, the images, I can publish in the international journal, which I'm the chief editor of the Geomatics, Natural Hazards and Risk, published by Taylor and Francis. Okay, so I would be glad if you can do that, so that people can read. Okay, and it goes in the history. Okay.
I would like it to go in his name. It should go in S.V. Srikantia's name. There can be posthumous publications too. There should be no problem. Because
you can write a note over there because you are taking lead. Okay.
No problem. No problem. Every word what I read was written by him.
Okay, that's okay. But you are compiling. Okay. So,
done. We'll discuss. We'll find a way so that it's easily accessible. For the time being, this video would be available on the YouTube.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Right. Thank you very much for your suggestion as well as the zeal to publish that work. We may definitely be getting out some way out of it. And next participant, Dr. Prakash HSM. Sir, you may please ask your question.
Well, it was a very good presentation by Dr. Arun Ahluwalia. Compliments to you, sir, on this allocation, of course. The idea mooted by you that we should make documentary films on great scientists like Shri S.V. Srikantiya Sahab. It's a very good idea, very good suggestion. In fact, I am in possession of all publications of GSI in the name of reminiscences written by all such great stalwarts of the yesteryears. Srikantiya Sahab's article is also there in one of the reminiscences books. But GSI and the Ministry of Mines doesn't have the practice of making documentary movies on our great scientists. I will take up the matter with the Ministry of Mines and the DGGSI to start such practice and bring out documentary films. And as suggested by you, with a private filmmaker, it is possible, provided we provide some funds for the filmmaker. I know many filmmakers in Bangalore, and it is possible who do it at a very reasonable price. We need funding. I will work on it, sir. It was a great suggestion by you. I am in touch with the family. Parvati Babuji's, very well at this hour I am with them, and I will try to take up and take the idea forward in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With this, if any other participants may like to speak, you can switch on the mic and let us know. So I am coming to the time where I am first of all saying good night to the live audience here on the Facebook. I am saying goodbye to you for till the next session. See you then.